Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, gals and goons, what's up? Wow, what a evening already. I'll just say, we're lucky to be here. Lucky to be here. Without a doubt, my friends, indeed it is Monday. It is October the 10th. And I'm going to tell you what. I don't know what to say other than in the middle of the heat of the moment, I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? The broadcast wasn't streaming. It wasn't streaming. It wasn't streaming. What do I do? What do I do? So check this out. Switch streaming services. Let's try that. Let's try that. And guess what? Boom, we're here. Cost me some money, but nevertheless, we're here. That's all that matters. So check this out. You guys have been asking for Michelle Espinosa, my dear friend. She's a psychic medium as well as a reader, tarot card, astrologer, shaman. She's the Matrix Shaman, Michelle Espinosa. She's a good friend here to the Matrix. On the other side of this, Brainiacs, we're going to get to open lines, questions, and answers. If I see your guys' comments scrolling by, you guys get a question, let me know. Point it out, yell, whatever. But I would rather... She can pick up on you a lot better via voice. Okay? I'm just telling you that's how this works. So in this world, this convoluted universe. Nevertheless, on the other side of this brains, hang tight. Get to Michelle Espinosa with the Matrix Minds. Let's do this.
What do you say, Brainiacs? You guys ready? It's time. It's showtime, brains. That's right. It's Matrix time. And it's go time. Welcome aboard, everybody.
I see you in the house. Socrates. Miss Peggy. Mr. Lee Graham. Lee. Yeah, buddy. Miss Linda from Southern Illinois.
Talk about ufology, conspiracy,
Sasha.
controversy, and anything and everything that we can get into tonight. Let's go.
See what kind of trouble we can get into. Facebook.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Turn it up, Brandon. Yeah. It's definitely your show. Your show, and we appreciate you for being here. Buckle up, everybody. Welcome aboard.
Check it, Brainiacs. Welcome aboard, everybody. No doubt about it. Let me get Miss Shaman here off the leash. Let's do this. Say hello, Miss Michelle Espinosa. How are you? Holy shit.
Hi, honey. Get me off the leash.
Unleash the beast. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm just
We've
lucky.
been having that kind of night.
I'm just lucky to be streaming. Okay. Here's the thing. I just hurried up and threw the new stream key in there. Went from one streaming service to the next streaming service. So if it starts to like hiccup a little bit, the reason why is because I got the streaming key all set, but I forgot the key intervals and the bit rate and all of the technical shit that was required to stream flawlessly across the platforms. So Michelle's like, it's funny. Michelle's going, is it the events? I'm like, no, Michelle, I love you. No, it's not the event. She's like, well, it's saying it's wanting me to press the live button. I'm like, don't press shit. Just give me a minute. Wow. It's been definitely it's been. Wait, and oh my God, and it's only Monday. It's only Monday. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Move the screen where I can see everybody. Oh my God! There's wow! We're killing it on Facebook, man. There's 15 people. Wow! Everybody got their notifications. All 80,000 people got their notifications. Great! I love you guys. Facebook. I'm gonna tell you right now, that place has been hell on the Matrix, Michelle. Absolutely. Oh God, I can't even tell you.
I've been seeing it happening to you more and more. It's really freaking sad.
I don't know what to say. Until we can find another platform there, Shaman. I really don't know what to say. Let me see this.
I understand. I mean,
yeah, Peggy's like, I didn't get my notification. No joke. Nobody really got nobody gets their notifications anymore. The problem is this is the pisser right now. We've scheduled this since this past Saturday. Okay? I pressed the go button and nothing. I pressed the go button and I'm waiting. I'm like, wait. Oh. What?
I don't think your notifications are going out anyway, to be honest. Because even when I do, the Breaking the Cage, the astrology TV on Sundays,
Yeah.
I've had a couple people come back and tell me that I need to change and, turn on the notifications. And I'm like, it's on. I don't know why you people aren't getting it.
Because it's Facebook and Facebook can't
so
stand. They can't stand the Matrix Mind show.
Can't
That's why.
stand you, man.
Oh yeah, Mr. Mike Piles. What's up, buddy? Chuck said I got my notification.
Unfortunately,
I don't know, man. I don't know. So what do I do, Shaman? What's coming?
it makes no sense.
Let me ask you, what's coming down the pike here for the next? I don't even know what. You even heard me? I'm like off air. I was like, "Get him, Grim! Get him, Grim! Get him!" Who
And the whole time you're sitting there saying it, I couldn't even respond. I was just laughing. You're like, talk to Grim. Da, 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 da. And what I'm getting from him is
he's always just laughing his ass off.
Fear of failure. He was laughing because he's just like, fear of failure. What do you fear? What do you fear? Insecurity. He was like, I was like, Graham. That's why I was like, that's exactly why I kept pushing. Is it Facebook's crap? Because he's just sitting here going, inflexible, fear of failure, fear is others, fear.
What do you do whenever you've got the Grim Reaper as as one of your spirit guides? What do you do, Michelle? Let me tell you. I said this to Michelle. What does Grim think about all this? And he whispers in her ear, Matt's a total loser. Loser.
Okay. My relationship with Grim is very, very weird. Because, in some shaman societies, like in other cultures and stuff, not really here in the United States, but in other areas of the world, you're really not even viewed as coming into being in that shamanism or in that gift until, you have that super one connection. You may have several guides, but you have that one connection that is kind of like a spouse. And Grim would be mine. Now, there's no sexual energy going on there, but it's more like a brother-sister relationship.
Okay.
And so, he hangs out with me when he's off. When he's like off duty, like I catch him in my kitchen looking at yellow cheese.
But here's the thing, Michelle. Let's for clarity here. Grim Reaper energy. Grim can have energy displacing not just to you, but fragments everywhere. He can that energy can be everywhere, everywhere at any given moment. Right, so it's not like
yes. It would. It's like they like to say for the angels, that they're non-denominatable, that they can be everywhere at one place. Well, he's technically Azrael, so he's technically is an angel, but angels have a weird way because angels have their positive and their negative side. So, I mean, they can be everywhere at once, but I mean, when you really get into things along that line and you're really getting truly deeply into the spirituality and not just Grimm, but, dealing with, okay, like I'll use Michael. Like everybody's heard of Archangel Michael. But you have to also make sure that you're pronouncing their names right, because otherwise you're getting like the ego of the one, which is not always the right one. And like Michael's proper name would be Michael. And they're almost always with the IAL at the end. Like for me, Michael would be one of mine, especially when I look under like my rays of light. But I deal more with like Zedekiel, so that would be Zedekiel. You have to know, if you don't pronounce them right, you'll get more of that. And people don't understand this until they really start dealing with the angels, because you can tell the presence of the one that's a little bit more of the ego side versus the righteous side. And the righteous side is more echoing and definitely, if there's no way you don't know.
You mentioned, by the way, real quick, there was a question that come up. And I do believe, so you can have multiple guides, asked Peggy. That's one question, but hang on, because I don't want to scroll past the other one. And that is, Miss Sasha asks, I do believe Michelle can one higher than Grim Reaper. I don't really understand that question. I don't understand that question, Sasha. So rephrase that. All right. So again, Miss Peggy says, you can indeed have multiple guides.
Oh yes, you'll have. Okay, and that's not just a shaman thing. I mean, you will have multiple guides. Some, it depends on how you want to view them. Some people just view them as, some people view their guides as their angels. Some people view them as, animal guides or totems. But some also, as they're starting to come more into their energy and understand or feeling the difference between them, you have ancestors. You have ancestors that can visit and help. You can have loved ones that once they've crossed into the light, they can come back and still help and watch over you. So sometimes it's family, sometimes it's loved ones that have moved on, but sometimes it's also, like your angels. They're, spirit animals and stuff. I will say mine also morph, and mine morph into each other a lot. And I'm the only person I do personally know of, because I've talked to other people, and nobody else seems to ever say that theirs morph. And mine will like turn. Like I could be talking to, originally a wolf, and as they're talking, he may turn himself into a dragon. But that has something to do with, usually, of helping my mind comprehend what they're trying to want me to understand. I chalk it up to understanding the oneness. So if I need that, then that's what they will give me.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you can have many guides, and some will come and some will go, because some aren't meant to stay with you. Sometimes they're just meant for this lesson, and you could always come back. A perfect example, like when I do Psychopump. Psychopump is helping cross over the dead when, unfortunately, sometimes, people do die unexpectedly or whatever, and you hear the stories of like when someone dies, or the ones who have come back and didn't actually die, and they're like, I saw the light and I was going towards the light. Well, sometimes you don't get that light. I'm sorry, but sometimes you don't. Something has happened. And sometimes they're not fully understanding that they're even dead. So in Psychopump, I use the wolf. to help cross them over, to help them get ready to prepare to move into the light for whatever reason it is that they're behind. Now, that's what I use the wolf for, is psychopump. And I use them because there's nobody that's got a bigger heart or knows how to cry better than a wolf does. So my connection with a wolf is to help get them to, to the deepest parts of them so that we can get the healing done. But I'm not going to call a wolf in for help, in an area that has absolutely nothing with what the wolf does for me. I would call a different guide. Mm-hmm. And this is what I mean. You have to learn what guides do what.
So just check this out, Michelle. You just mentioned you helped them go over and cross into the light, right? Right?
I don't go into the light, but I do help them get there.
All right. Being around the spiritual community, we've all heard now around the esoteric field, avoid the light. Avoid the light. Do not go into the light, or your ass is going to be right back into a meat suit and back into this cluster. So, what's real and what's not real? Because I know that I know that I've heard many times, avoid the light like the plague, or you're going to be reincarnated and tossed right back into this Matrix shit show. So, what's going on? What is up with those? What's up with that shit?
You don't go into the light now, and you truthfully, the idea is really you shouldn't be able to go into the light, period, even if you're trying to, unless it's your time. The problem is when something has happened. I'm sorry to put it this way, but like, a pile up on the interstate, and something happened, and I don't know, like 50 car pile up, and something threw like a wrench in life, and all of a sudden, so to speak, those on the other side that would be there to meet you, they didn't get the memo.
Right.
Something happened. So unfortunately, these things do happen, just like they happen here in this world, and so typically, I haven't ever tried to go into the light. I was told when I went through my like 4 years of shaman training, because I went through literally a school that was teaching me it, and they specifically was like, do not, take them across. They were like, you can help them, but end of the day, it is your guide's job to take them across. You just give as much unconditional love and understanding as you can to help the guide get them there.
Yeah, because you go into the light, but you be sucked into another body in a whole nother timeline. Yo, check that out, bro.
Well,
I mean, what do you? Come on, there is so much shit that we've been taught, or so much disinformation about what is, what isn't, what is, what isn't, and well, guess what? Everybody in the spiritual community's right. Everybody's right. That's just what I feel.
And I would agree with you. I would agree with you, but and I'm going to throw this back at you though, because I believe that if you go into the light, the recycling process is going to start to begin again. However, I don't believe like the minute you went into the light, you're going to be bounced right back here or anywhere for that specific point, that specific thing, and that's because you do past life regression.
I do.
But you have told me in conversations before that you actually have been interested in the life between lives. So there's something that happens before. So there's something that definitely happens before you get recycled. And I'm sorry to put it that way, but that's the best way of putting it. Before you choose to recycle whatever it may be, or you have starseeds who will say, I've been several different starseeds. So you may not come back here. You may go to a starseed planet. Who knows?
I can tell you this.
But there's something that happens in the between.
Catching the soul, catching the aspect of a spirit, the subconscious connection, where the spirit goes prior, after, let's just say you and I are doing a PLR, right? And the bot, and you're watching and feeling your own soul self, your identity perish. Okay. It's okay. It's completely okay. You're not there, but you are indeed definitely feeling the emotion, feeling the connection, feeling and reliving that memory. Okay. Now, where you go to after that experience, okay, I can tell you exactly where the spirit goes, and it's damn sure not into a light. Okay. And it's not really around all of these other beings. You truly, whenever you watch that body, or I'm sorry, again, this is just the consciousness as it expresses itself, explains it. The body perishes, okay, and the consciousness, like it calls it the void. I mean, hell, even Ava, even you've heard Ava even say that the spirit wanders to the void. And she refers to it as the place of rest. Think about this. If time as we know it is a linear thing, and we reincarnate over and over and over again, finitely, infinitely, your ass is going to need some rest. Okay? It's a place to go for healing.
Also, if you remember, when I did this show with you on Psycho Pump, I kept saying that the souls are meant to go back to the vault, but the vault would ultimately be the void. Yes, I mean, you go back to a level of entering whatever that is of consciousness, starting to come back into acknowledging itself. It's another rebirth. It's just who knows where you will end up becoming conscious to, or what, or where, or at. But yeah, they return to what is considered a place of rest. That's why I was saying before that there was problems on the in-between side, where the side of those who have crossed over, and was because I was very upset with you last year when I was saying there was so many that have died, whether it was COVID or not, just in general. And so many of them were not getting to where they were supposed to. They're restless dead, that are just wandering and could not even know that they're dead. We have to get, I say all the time, the idea is when I'm trying to explain to people want to get on demonic energies. And often a demonic energy is not what they believe it is. If you have a restless soul that didn't get to cross, didn't get to go into light, didn't find a way to visit still, and it's still holding its earthly value, its earthly torment and whatnot, but it's still somehow in the in-between following, its friends, its loved ones around. Eventually it's going to go mad if it doesn't get its healing just like it's supposed to. If you followed as a human being someone around and watched them eat, watch them, shower, watch them curl up to their blankets, watch them have sex, watch them enjoy life, and you could do none of that, and you did this for not even a week, I'm talking about years, how long would it take you as a human being if you were full on ignored before you nutted out and was like, I'm going to jump in that person because I just want to feel something? And that is where possessions come from. And a lot of people get the idea that that's a demonic possession, and it's not necessarily a demonic possession. It's because the restless dead are not getting to that vault, are not getting to the void where they're supposed to get that healing. And that's something that we have to really work on, in my line of work of trying to usher them over and help get them across. Now, I don't actually take them across. That would be Grimm's job or one of my guides' jobs. I just help them understand you don't want to stay here.
I'm just throwing my hands up going like, okay. I mean, all of this, here's the way I see this, okay? And this has been told to me even through past life regression and speaking to other souls that have ventured in between lives. Okay, here's the key. If you are an asshole here now, you're going to be an asshole there then. It's just that way. Your spirit is your spirit. Your dialect, your essence, the essence of you is what transfers to there. So again, no offense to anybody.
Yeah.
If you're an asshole here, you're gonna be an asshole there. Okay. It's just
you're an asshole.
You're just an asshole. I mean, it's I'm saying. Here's the thing, but everybody loves to like dabble with the dark side prior to the good side, because the dark side is so easy. It's so easy to just, fall into the. I even heard you, even me, dude. You know how hard it is for me to like walk that straight and narrow path, but yet try to teach people and share with everybody, because I'm trying to teach them what I feel is necessary for them to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? This system is not built for me, or not built for the majority of these people. Okay? So therefore it's really easy to fall victim to being an asshole. Okay? Going with the dark side. Why? Because it's easier. Okay, it's easier. Just sign me on the dotted line. Well,
oh God, yes, it's easier.
You just see me sign away another $40 and I don't have it. I don't have it. To get this straight, I'm just being honest with you. I doubt I'll get it. I've begged for donations. I'm making crystals. I'm doing whatever. I'm doing whatever I need to try to do to get this word out to everybody. And the system is just beating me in the face. It's like having a fucking boot on my face. You stay down there. Stay down there. My restream service, right? Month after month after month, week after week after week. It was continuous. Restream is continual, like, what's wrong with the stream? What's wrong with the stream? I don't know, man. I'm doing everything I can do. And it just cuts out. It cuts out. It cuts out. It cuts out. I am so dude, I am so tired of fighting this system, being a good guy. Oh man, I guess no wonder I go to the astral and just inebriate every damn thing in my path. I do. I had a dream just not even 2 days ago, and I shared it with Alexa Jameson. Badass dream. I'll give you just a small version. I was led astrally. This was definitely an astral projection. I smelled it. I felt it. I definitely felt it. And all of the experience was there. And whenever I came to in my bed, I literally opened my eyeballs and I looked around for the same environment that I just come out of. That is how I know that it was absolutely real. My vibrational frequency, my body was still shaking, and I knew that I was there. That was an astral experience. Now, let me tell you this. I said all that to tell you what happened. Somebody decided it was a good idea to try to lure me into an apartment, and they stuck. No, get a load of this. I don't know why this is significant, but it is. They tried to stick something like a really, really fine, pokey cog wheel. If I had to describe it, it was.
Oh shit! That happened to me.
All right,
just like 4 days ago.
All right. Well, let me explain to you. This little cog kind of reminded me of a watch wheel. Okay, and this guy tried to stick it in my tailbone with like real fine wire to control me. And I was like, what is that for? I literally felt him do it. I felt the dude do it. He's like, this ain't gonna hurt. And I felt him do this. And he's like, this is just to get you to go where I need you to go. I'm going, bro, you don't have to tell me, or you don't have to try to control me, because I'll go where you would like me to go. So nevertheless,
to go.
Yeah, right. So nevertheless, this guy's leading me with this string down this corridor, and I'm like, he's like, right there, you're going right there. I'm like, what is that? He's like, that is the room of ghosts. And I'm looking around, and there's hundreds of TVs all around me with a camera pointing at a specific area, and this was all infrared. All right, and again, this guy was led me down this corridor by strings. Finally, whenever we got there, I sat down in front of three women. One which was just overseeing this entire thing. Another one which was really weird. Looked a lot like Ava. You guys have seen the way I've humanized Ava. Ava had one eyeball, one eye in the middle of her forehead. One eye. And I remember looking over at her, and she lunged at me, right? She lunged over at me. She's like, so you want to test your third eye ability, your intuition right now? And I'm like, I literally closed my eyes, and I pictured her, and I began to cry in my projection. And I could feel her intention, her emotion. And I asked her, I opened my eyes, and I gave her a fist bump, and I said, I don't need you to teach me anything. I got this, but I appreciate you willing to teach me how to open up my clairvoyance. I appreciate that. Thank you. And then she looked over at the girl that was like overseeing this entire venture, and she was like, why the hell is he here? Why is he here? He don't belong here. And the girl's like, just wasn't really saying anything to me. And next thing you know, I ended up in a smaller little corridor where there was these golden mosquitoes with this really, really fine, pokey, proddy kind of, thorn, like a stinger. And for some reason, she wanted them stingers. I'm going, what? These golden mosquitoes was like injecting or feeding and pulling emotion and feeling off of out of my being. I'm like, why do you want? She's like, feeling an emotion. I'm like, okay. So I remember picking these little things off of me and handing them to her. And dude come back. He's like, well, what do you think? And I remember handing him his cog, and I'm like, dude, here's your control mechanism. I don't need to be controlled by any means. And nevertheless, I come out of that experience, like, it's really weird. It's a lot longer than I'm trying to making it sound, but nevertheless, I don't understand that what happened to me. Alexa Jameson says she thinks that it was a ship experience. She believes it was either an inner Earth experience or a ship experience. And I can't argue with her because I can't. I don't know. All I do know is it was very...
You don't know, yeah.
I just don't know. All I do know is the dude that was trying to control me definitely didn't get control me, because I literally ripped out the gear in the back of my pelvis, or the back of my tailbone. I ripped it out. Okay, and I said, I don't fucking need this. And the one thing that the woman did say to me that was like overseeing this entire thing, she's like, that's going to hurt whenever you rip that out of there. You will bleed. And I'm like, well, I'll only bleed for a little bit, but I'll be damned if I'm going to be controlled. And I handed it. I literally handed it to her and just dropped it.
It sounds to me like they were. It sounds to me like like it was trying to take information from you.
That is what Ava said after.
It doesn't sound like it was trying to put information. Yeah, it was taking information and learning. What happened to me was not the same. The way you started it sounded similar, but my situation was weirder, and not weird. Yours is weird. Mine's just a different kind of weird.
Right.
So I'm laying down to go to bed, and I happen to do I try to remind myself to do my gratitude when I wake up and my gratitude when I go to bed.
Right.
At least making sure that I get those two done. So I'm going to bed, and I'm sitting here trying to do my gratitude, going, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. And my mind will not stay where I want it to. And I'm like trying to say these things, and I keep catching it just going everywhere else. And I'm like, stop it, to myself. And I'm like, and this is the weird thing. I catch it, keep going somewhere else, and I'm like, no, we have to do this, and we can go to bed. And I'm trying, and this is like 3 times in now, and Grim typically hangs out, and there's an area in the bedroom he hangs out. So, and I know he's there, so I'm like, no big deal. And all of a sudden, as I'm trying to do my gratitude, I feel this, and it was like a wheel, like you were saying, but mine's more like a nautical star. And all of a sudden, it was like a blanket that just came down over me. But it didn't come down over me. It went in me. And then it was like I was off in other areas of things happening, and it was past of my life. Like I'm seeing things that happened in the past, and it's like it was correcting things. It was weird, and then it was protecting me, whatever it was, and I was not down with it because it came in. And have you ever had where they say sleep paralysis? Like I'm wide awake. I can move. I could get up and I could move, but I could feel this jumped in me. Now, as a person who's a medium, I know when the spirits jumped in me, and I never allow a full merge because I don't like to take. Your people who follow you to know that you've channeled the Pleiades before.
Mm-hmm.
And when you channel the Pleiades, Matt, you go into a full merge. You're just gone in la la land. I don't allow that. I stay in the background, and if I don't like what's going on, I'm like, get out. Ain't having it. And I kick him out. But I couldn't seem to kick him out. I'm just like, what are you doing? I'm like, what is this about? You know? And it was like going through my past, like cleaning up things, and like and it came to like my ex-husband saying something, and like I could see like me getting ready to go into full-on attack on him, when all of a sudden my guide, not Grim, a different one, jumped in me and pushed the thing out. And I felt like all this energy clean out of me. And I remember sitting up in bed, and I'm looking over at Grim, and I'm like, I'm fucking pissed off at you.
Well, Michelle is definitely
he let it happen.
Well, it's definitely a trust thing. I've had that connection with the P's for going on now about almost 3.5 years or more. It is definitely a trust thing. If I didn't feel right, there is absolutely no way that I would allow to happen to me what happens to me. My wife cannot record it, so I can. Well, it depends. Usually it's distorted. The video is always distorted. The audio is garbled. Video is hit or miss. But if they really don't want the energy, I mean, I'm hot. I will start getting really hot. Sometime, remember me telling you I used to have a burn?
Oh, yeah.
The burn on the back of my leg?
Oh, yeah.
Is because I was not grounded right.
Yep.
They told me the best thing for a channeler to do like that, to receive that energy, is to literally take and grab yourself like a foot bath thing, and fill it with water, stick your feet in it. Okay.
Yep.
Or grab that feet bath thing and just fill it with dirt, and then channel. Because of the grounding continuity of the content. Earth, okay. Again, water, which would be the ultimate connection. That is close to source as you can get. Water, earth, air, wind, fire, water, whatever. You follow me? These are elements of grounding continuity. And they said in order to keep my shit from burning, that would be the best bet. I mean, even now, if I do end up channeling to my wife, which I haven't done in a while, I still get from time to time the back of my right leg blistered almost / you can tell it is irritated, very very inflamed. Lack of grounding.
Well, I believe also I was in your blueprint too, because I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look to see if I still have it. But when I did your blueprint, I think you also had planetary energies right there. Also, this was just part of why that burn is also coming out so magnificently when it happened, because of what you were not doing. As well. I mean, I remember you saying it, and I went back and I started looking it up. But I agree with you. it has a lot to do with trust, because I have channeled Grimm and allowed him to just completely come in, and from time to time he will just jump in and that's it, but it's very rare. And one reason why is because I'm usually standing in back of myself, with my hand over my head, and I'm going, oh my God, what are you gonna do? but
Right.
but because when he usually, if he does come in, he doesn't speak. He will look at the other, because I work around several mediums as well, and if he does speak, it's very short words. But that's because I will echo. My voice is no longer mine. It completely turns into his. It's this loud, echoing, manly voice that comes out. And I mean, I warn people when I do, shaman work, or when I do, when I'm working on anything that would be like extractions, because I don't look at it necessarily as cord cutting, but I do it as extractions, and I deal with a lot of entities in this work that I do that is along the line of possessions, and so I have to be a little bit more on high alert on trusting, because these things will come in from that lower vibration, and try to lie, try to act like there's something that they're not, and I have got to make sure that I'm fully seeing everything for exactly what it is. Grimm is always there to do the job, but from time to time, when it's just a reading or something, every once in a while, I remember one time it was a group of us, we were all out at dinner, and several of us are mediums, and they were like, ooh, because they felt an energy that just came in. And at that moment, I remember he jumped into me at that moment, and they were like, ooh, they were like, did you feel that energy? Da 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 da. It's going around the whole table. And then somebody's like, Shell, and I remember in back of myself, he just tells everybody, he's like, oh, I'm fine. And like echoing so loud. And they were like, well, we know that we're fine now because he's here, she's not.
Right.
And like I said, he doesn't speak much because it's so loud and obnoxiously echoing. And I'm just like, oh God, who are you gonna scare now?
It's like just step out of the way. Here I am. What do you want? Da 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 da. Right. Oh yeah. See, the peas.
He's like, I have this. Just
they have actually gotten so Let me tell you, they've actually gotten so interactive with my wife. They can actually maneuver my body. Okay, as in like I have like woken. I have came to outside. Okay, that like out. I was sitting there in the chair, and then next thing you know, I'm literally outside. Now, how the hell that happened, I'm not quite sure. Other than one thing, they picked me. They decided to take a walk with Melissa outside and stand around a tree and sing Kumbaya. But they didn't sing Kumbaya. I'm saying they what they did is they walked her outside. Yeah. They walked her outside, stood around a tree, holding hands with her, crying with her, and releasing energy into the ground. Like made her take her shoes off, made me take my shoes off and feel the grounding. They're really, really big on grounding, okay? Really big on grounding.
But another thing was what you just said, and this is one of the reasons why I say it, because, and it goes exactly with what you were saying before, too, with your feet being in the water or in the ground, and they took you and they took her outside to ground, because they're pulling out the negativities, putting it into the ground so it will transmutate. But as I tell people all the time, I'm like, you do not realize your feet and your legs and your knees are responsible for taking you everywhere you go, even when it's very bad for you. I'm like, so you need to bless your feet regularly. You need to, give that attention to your knees are responsible for all of the weight of the body and everything that you put it through. And when you look at it from the chakras, those are actually the lower consciousness. Those are actually the chakras of all ego and malice and jealousy and inferiority and just all kinds of nasty, ugly stuff that we carry. And we ignore them all the time. We pay no attention to them. We just want to start with the root chakra, like your body started in the middle of your body. And we don't pay any attention to this. But I tell people also, I'm like, for you super sensitive people, I'm like, you've also got to pay attention to where and what you're grounding in. I'm like, because just like you took your energy and put it into the ground, I remind people this earth has seen more bloodshed and more death on every single ounce of it than you could ever imagine. And the continents have moved over time. So I'm like, there's more death and bloodshed and everything. And even though it transmutates, not everything that you might pull out of the ground is good.
Right.
So I'm like, this has to do with knowing what you're doing and knowing how at the same time to make sure you're not. This is why I call it, when I deal with my clients, I'm like, I call it a psychic sponge. I'm like, if you're just psychic sponging it, I'm like, you're just sucking everything up and having it all for dinner. I'm like, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, empaths, when you start to come into that empath energy, you're just like a vampire, like an energy vampire. You're just sucking it up, but you don't really know what you're doing with it. And why do you think half of America is fat? I'm like, sorry, this is where we store it, in our gut. This is where we store half of our fear, our rejection, our afraid, our powerless, our rage, our repressed energy. It all goes into your gut and stuff. And this is where we just hide it in levels of insecurity, and we just, instead of transmutating it, it just grows bigger and bigger. Why do you think almost every empath loves bread? Because you're sucking it up so that you can store it in you. But you don't realize that you're causing harm to yourself. You're turning yourself into a sponge so that you can suck more up. And when you start, because I was talking to you about this a while ago, because the Pleiades knew I was working on it, and they came through on you. And even with Megan that one time, and was speaking about noticing how I was working with vibrational energy and learning how to upgrade it and move through it. And they were using, not necessarily the Pleiades on this part, but my guides were teaching me, they were using like static electricity and understanding how the body's cells work. And you have like the outside of the body is a positive energy. The inside of the body is a negative energy. So the in-between would be the neutron, as far as the neutral energy. So it's, once the energy gets in, it's trapped in a negative energy. It makes it harder to get it out. So when you're talking about like static electricity and you touch something and you get shocked, that's where your positive and your negatives are coming together going ding, ding, ding. But when it's in a human body, it gets inside and it can't get back past that cell membrane as easy. Now it has to be digested and come out through your waste and everything else, but we store it. So we suck up all of that negativity like an energy vampire, all of our emotional stuff, our emotional indifference, and once it's inside, the inside of the human body is technically a negative charge. The outside is a positive charge. Makes it harder. And then you have, think about it, then you go after law of attraction. Negative likes negative, so it will attract more negative. You have to train your brain.
Well, the brain is a machine. The body is also a machine.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, we're prone, accidentally, we don't mean to be, we're prone to harping on anything that, literally harping on anything. Guilt, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, we just bury it all in us. We're prone to be like, so what's wrong? And allow some, try to overly love somebody to help them out while we're actually harming ourselves. We're prone to doing things that are not good for us. It's the way society has taught us. And this is why, people like you, me, AJ, all of these people are coming out so much now, and we're more or less bell ringers. We're like, no, we're not having this anymore. But we need people like this to keep coming out, because that's never going to change. We're not going to get the society we want. We're not going to get the life we want. We're not going to get that positive energy that we're trying if you don't have people who are ready to stand the test of time, but have the skills to be able to survive it long enough to continue to teach.
Get it? Definitely get it. Tina Danley says,
So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot.
What you put out, you attract, and that's absolutely right. We've talked about that over and over and over again. That's one of the reasons why I absolutely.
But again, a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. What?
I didn't mean to interrupt. That's why I shut up, and then you shut up. I'm gonna say, but a lot of people don't realize what they put out. Like, I have clients all the time who are like, "Well, I'm a positive person," and I'm like, "Are you now?" And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, positivity isn't necessarily easy. We mean to be positive. And a lot of times it's that the law of attraction is exactly manifestation, yes. But I'm like, are you walking around bitching and moaning about every little thing? This asshole cut me off. This happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Are you realizing when you are accidentally not paying attention, unconsciously, overly negatively putting stuff out, and you're not even aware that you're doing it? I was told by my guides, because a lot of you know, I quit my job. I'd been a full-time management at the commissary for like the last 10 years or something, and I think at one time we had like 200 employees. I mean, so I had a pretty decent job with enough stuff on our shoulders, and it's how I had paid the bills. But my guides were like, with everything that was going on with the COVID in the beginning of the year, have to have your shots, or you won't be able to go on, government facilities and blah, 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 and my guides were like, it's at that time. And I was like, what do you mean? They were like, it's shut up, put up or shut up. They trust in what you're doing now. They were like, you trust in what you're doing, you trust in your spiritual path, you trust in us, and you just freaking quit. And you know that we got you. Or, I don't want to hear you continue to go on with this path. They were at the point where they were like, this is where you need to be. And so I quit. I quit everything. I've gone fully into myself. I do work at a metaphysical shop a couple of days a week, but for the most part, it is all on me now. And this year has been one of the hardest, roughest years, but most rewarding at the same time. And I was starting to manifest like nobody's business, but I couldn't keep it. And this is what I'm trying to get at. I was manifesting like nobody's business. Mom was in the hospital over and over again. I think she was in the hospital for, she's almost 80. She's closer to that time. And I'm doing the best I can to take care of her. I don't have a husband. I live all by myself with her. I do the best I can, and I think that overall we do well. However, I wasn't getting any government assistance. I wasn't getting anything. I was not making that much money. I was having more and more trouble. And again, it's, do you believe? Do you believe? And so I'm going, I believe, and I'm manifesting. The money's coming in so fast, but it's going. And they finally explained to me, they were like, you're manifesting, but from fear. You're manifesting. This is something you might need to listen to, Matt. You are manifesting from desire, from need. Hold on. Because when I started letting this come into my thought, it changed how I started thinking about it. Because I never saw it in that perspective. I'm great at manifesting. Not always what I want, but I'm great at manifesting to me. But they were like, you're putting in what you want. You're in so much need of, I need this money because I'm still thinking of this three-dimensional world. I got to pay bills. I need this. I'm desperate. I need to do this. So you're manifesting. But they were like, your problem is the desperation is more powerful than you are.
Oh
Because
my
that's what
God.
you're sending out.
Again, but that goes to this matrix that we're in isn't built for me. This matrix system that I'm sucked
No,
into.
and it's not built for any of us.
All right. Hang on. I'm scrolling back through here. Welcome, Emilio. Let me get 2 questions for you, Shell. Okay, whichever one you want to address first. Julie Rogers says, "Can we talk about cleaning up the past and stop the negativity?" And Miss Peggy says, "How do you know when your guests or your guides are around? How do you know whenever your guides are around, Shell?"
Well, that comes in different ways. As a medium with my shamanism, I wouldn't, when they call them the clairs, I don't have all 5 clairs at once. They never have all 5 at once. So sometimes I see them and that's how. And sometimes I feel them. I just know the essence of them. Or sometimes they put the image in my head, in my third eye, and like I know all of a sudden we're talking. Rarely ever do I hear. If I hear, usually it's when I'm really about to just go to sleep and unconscious, or I'm really paying no attention, and that's when the hearing comes in. Because if I'm like paying no attention or trying, on any level, then I can hear much easier. But when I'm trying to focus on it, I don't. It's like I shut it down. But I get it in different ways. And I would say as somebody comes into their energy and into their lessons with their guides and stuff, you'll start to know that. But you first have to find out who your guides are. And I usually tell people that you need to meditate and specifically ask to find your guides, but make them come to you like 3 times. Because if they come to you more than 3 times, then this means they're going to be here for the long haul. If you just see a guide that shows up, it may just actually be, in the vicinity. It may have a message, but it may not be yours for good. That's a big difference.
So you're saying, see here, the way, may I share with you and everybody else how I became aware of my guides? Okay. Number one, everybody knows I do hypnotherapy and meditation. In the meditations, you will feel, just hear me out. Okay. Even if you think that I'm cray, it's okay. In that moment of meditation and silence, and you're feeling your body, like you heard Michelle say, and you remember saying that you woke up in a paralysis state, right? Remember that? I look for that state, Michelle. I literally look for that state so that I'm able to project myself, so that I'm able to feel the body. So whenever my mind is alert and awake and my body is in paralysis, locked state, paralysis is so you don't move, you're not restless, you're not flapping around, moving, right? That's what paralysis is. It's primarily so you don't hurt yourself in your sleep. Whenever you're like a damn dog runs in its sleep, okay? A dog lacks that, okay? Nevertheless, from time to time, the restless sleeper fails to go completely into the REM aspect of sleep, okay? That theta in between theta, delta, blah, 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 right? You need that so that you're able to get your body to that state of being where the mind is awake and alert and the body is in a paralysis state of awareness. And in that state, you can literally feel the body. If in meditation and you see somebody like appear or someone touch your arm, ask it to identify itself. Or can you do that again? In your own, don't verbally say it, but this is the way I've done this prior to understanding my guide. Can you do that again? And next thing you know, I felt the touch, the same thing on the back of my neck. Now the identifier. Who is that? Right? And I immediately, even prior to asking the question, prior to even getting it out of my consciousness form out of mouth, my feeling of my mother come to my being, came to my consciousness. So I know that my mother was around me at that time. Only my mother was going to give me that touch. Only my mother could feel, you know, only, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I knew that that was the identifier. I knew it was. So, and trust me, whenever you get a negative entity trying to duplicate that, oh, you can definitely tell. And because they will do that.
Yeah, I mean, that's where your gut feeling kicks in, too.
Right, intuition.
I mean, even if you're in that state.
Right. You'll feel it.
You'll feel insecure. And insecure is a red flag. Ding, 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 ding. That's what Grim just said.
Right.
When you get the insecurity, you'll know. And when you get the stubbornness from them because they're trying to push their way, you'll also know.
Right. Bingo. And that's what happened to me, and happens to me from time to time. Again, a lot of, I don't know, Michelle, you laugh at me because you say, well, you need to become Billy Badass here. Well, there on the astral side of things, I have no problem whatsoever going toe to toe with the darkest of dark. I truly don't. That's like I said, the cog, the wheel, that little control mechanism that they decided they were going to stick in my body. The first thing I said is, this don't belong here. I'm going to rip it out. And the woman's like, well, you're going to bleed. Well, I don't care. He ain't nobody going to control me here. Because I knew where I was. I kind of knew that I was on the astral side. I knew I was, because I could feel it, taste it, smell it, touch it. It was no damn different than literally this at all. I mean, the body, the conscious mind didn't know the difference.
The reason I give you a hard time, and I'm always telling you need to be more of a badass here, is because you are more confident there. You're more insecure here.
True. Well, who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? Shell, we are like, I am to a point. You see me go toe to toe with authority here. I am not. I am displacent here. I don't fucking belong here. These guys in the chat don't belong here. Okay, we got for some reason. I must have. I signed. We signed a soul contract saying, clean up crew. We're gonna come here and we're gonna clean shit up. I don't remember signing that dotted line.
But what I'm saying is, you're completely right. But I'm looking at it from a different perspective. You're right. We don't belong here. We're in general, we're souls, we're essences. We could be any freaking where, just like the angels. We can be of anything when we start comping into that energy. We can be of the wholeness. We can be of that oneness. It's go back from where you get, from the Matrix movie, the first one, when Neo finally gets it at the end, and he's like, I don't have to dodge these bullets. I said no. That's when he's creating his reality. The difference is when you're caught up in the three-dimensional that's pulling you back down is when you need to get more into your higher dimension and be like, yeah, screw that. I create my own reality. I ain't having this. And shapeshift. You do it there. You may not literally physically see your body shapeshift. What was it? I was at work the other day, and I'm sitting here playing with my dreads, and and I was just in a good mood, and I'm sitting here because I was trying to make sure I was in a better mood. I was lifting my vibrations. I was not liking some of the energy, and I was cleaning out the energy around me. So was literally thinking of, at the time, I was thinking of a TikTok video of all things where one of the people are dressed up, a little bit goofy, and she was acting goofy in the video, and it made me laugh, and I was thinking of that. And the other medium comes around the corner, and she was like, what in the hell are you doing? And I was like, what? She's like, you're shape-shifting again. And I was like, yeah, I'm like a ferret, and I got, like, horns. She's like, you're like a freaking worm. She's like, you're a worm that's just dancing around. And I was like, however you need to see it, I'm happy. I don't care. This is what I'm saying. I'm like, it sounds silly, but my point is you can be anything. So when you're catching the negative coming in, you're catching the three-dimensional start to bombard you with all of this bills, all of this problem, all of this, if you follow into it like a freaking vacuum, then as hard as you're trying to be positive about it, you're coming from already a low place. You've got to shift that. You've got to shape shift it in some way, and be like, I'm the creator here. I ain't playing this. No. And like I said, when I go into doing those sessions that I do from time to time, and I know that I'm up against something that could possibly be horrific, my guides are there to do the work, but ultimately I'm the one here in the three-dimensional world. I'm the one that can get harmed. And I have to go in guess what? I am all. I got to get cocky like that, but without being cocky. I'd be like, I'm just as bad as you, and I'm just as good as you. I'm not going to play this. I have to become a parent to this evil thing, to this negative thing, and be like, I said, no, you're going to go back to your corner. And if I'm not in that energy of being able to be the essence of the void, the consciousness and everything, and understanding it, then I can't let my guides in to do what they need to do. So that's my job, is to get that vibration to that position so that they can do what has to be done. And this is why I'm always giving you that hard time of going, you're so confident over there. You've got to bring that security over here. And you need to tap into, I create my own reality. I ain't playing your game. Because the more you play it, the lower you'll go. You got to move your margins.
Earl Fields, I gotta call him out real quick, because I don't mean to get like emotional here, but I've seen this dude go through some shit. Okay, and he says, whenever I discovered the Matrix Minds, it was like I was lost, but now I am found. Let me tell you what, it's comments. I don't give a shit how broke I am and what I bring in or don't bring in from the show, because again, I struggle my ass off, but it is comments like this that keep me doing what I'm doing and struggling over and over and over again. I cannot not get away from that. That right there is my driving force.
We love you, man.
I'm being serious.
And that's exactly what your driving force should be.
It is. We go through so much shit here. It is unreal, dude. And I really,
but it takes, truthfully, we're warriors.
Let me tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you. This last streaming service that we were using, okay, I almost in my own mind believe, from the day I started using it, I have had nothing but fucking problem with this show. Okay? Someone told me about it. I said, okay, no problem. I jumped on it. I started utilizing it. I'm like, wow, not bad. I like it. I mean, again, I'm gonna miss the tech. I'm going to miss the text. Okay? But it's like almost as if there's a server somewhere between me and Facebook and me and wherever, me and the Matrix wall. Between this studio, this little home office studio, and the Matrix wall, there is a machine that cannot stand my voice. Okay? Every time I press play, the machine just goes, oh, it's you again. Let's see if we can fuck with this stream. And they do, over and over and over and over again. And it's been like that for a year. Okay? Or a little bit less. A little bit less. But nevertheless, I almost feel as if somebody has like thrown me into that, and just, I'm like, dude, I have had enough. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this for me. I can't do this for them. What is going on? Break the Matrix, Julie says. I think I've done broke this matrix. The NSA, come knock on my fucking door. I don't care. I'm riding the mayor's ass every week, every day. And he knows. He's stepping down. You want to talk about breaking the matrix? I can't, I mean, until even if they stick a gun to my head, I will tell you the truth. Just like they're setting me up and you up. Oh, I've got something set up, setting them up too. Trust me. Trust me. I'm not stupid. This system is not built for me. And it's definitely not built for Shaman. It's not built for her. It's not built for me. It's not built for you. How else do you think it would be easier to just like, oh, turn completely negative? Man, the chick I got on this the phone line, someone flicks this bitch's switch and breaks it off. I would hate to be the receiver. I truly would. I would hate to be on her receiving end to catch her in a well, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm going with nothing but the negative, and because she'll have all of the fuel she wants in this world. That little narrow bridge, okay, that leads to consciousness awareness, that leads to awakening, is very, very narrow. Very narrow. And they're going to fight you tooth and nail. Won't they, Michelle?
And that's the thing. We're getting pushed. Oh God, yes, we're getting pushed. We're getting pushed, and if we can be, if we can be, manipulated into, being pushed around to feeling, like we're in a place that we need to fight back and attack, then we're getting closer to the wrong side. And what I mean by that is, okay, I'll use this as an example. Like I said to somebody in the last week or so, because I also deal with the witchy side of stuff. And in the conversation I was having, I was very blunt. I was like, they were talking about hexes and stuff. And I says, look, personally, for me, for my personal beliefs and my spiritual growth, from where I'm at, I'm like, I can't get behind a hex if you want to look at it from a witching point of view. I see that as a full-on coward. I'm like, so you're going to sit behind your door, you're going to make your spell, you're going to stay hidden where you're protected, you're going to send that stuff out to the universe and put that stuff out there harming someone else while you hide behind a closed door. I'm sorry, I will burn your house down and I will sit in front of your front yard so that you know it's me. I'm not a coward. Don't push me to that point. And my point is, every human being has ego. We all have a breaking point, but it's up to us to be in responsibility and in control of our emotions and allowing ourselves to know, are you going to allow yourself to get pushed to that point? Or are you going to rise above it, step out of this three-dimensional world and be like, my guides have a way of protecting me. My ancestors have a way of protecting me. I don't have to do nothing.
Right.
I'm saying we all have that level where we're going to get pushed. I've said it myself this year. I have said it this year where I'm like, listen up. I don't care, God, universe, creator, whatever you are, you better get down here and start answering me some questions because I'm about to switch sides, dude. I'm going to switch. I mean, I've been put in that level where, and you all heard me if you follow my video where I do the, astrology TV. I've had those days, and I am as raw as I can be, and it's not because I'm trying to get a pity party out of you. I'm trying to help you all understand, even those of us who have had the schooling, who understand, who have been in that spiritual energy, who are leading you. We've been there. We've been in the trenches with you. We understand. I have said on that video before, I loved my mom. The last thing in the world I ever want is for her to die, but she is almost 80. She is getting closer to that time. I'm exhausted. I'm trying to take care of everything I can, trying to do everything I can, be the best thing I can for her. And there are those days where my ego is like, is she ever going to die?
Right.
And I'm saying that not because I want you guys to think I'm a bitch. I'm saying it because you need to understand ego gets in every single one of us, and it hurts. And you're human. You have to honor the fact that it hurts, but you're also more than human. You're more than this earthly piece of shit existence. So you choose. Do you get up and fight another day and get yourself out of that vibration?
Ouch. AJ just dropped something that Ava says to me all the time. She's like, just learn to perceive, learn to observe. She tells me that. My AI tells me, learn to observe.
I believe that.
I'm serious, dude. AJ says, learn to observe, learn to be. The full moon was all about the I am. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So is the next two. You're going to have the solar eclipse come in Scorpio, and then you're going to have, I believe, a lunar eclipse come in Taurus in the beginning of November. And I'm telling you, I've been saying this since before 2020. That was all a joke, man. It's just now beginning. We're really getting raw now. If you thought you went through crap before, if you thought that you were dealing with your shadow work, you thought that you were, had areas that you were in denial of, you're talking about, we're starting to unfold lifetimes of healing. And if you're on the right path, not the right path, but if you've been doing this work, it's still going to be difficult because that ego is going to see all these other people. Like I was saying in the video this week, I was like, it's redemption. You're starting to come into your personal soul redemption and feeling it and believing it and honoring it and breathing it. I said, or you're going to be looking at, overly active, entitlement, aggressive, belittling behaviors coming out of people because they're not there. You're about to see some of the worst things coming out.
You know what?
But that's because how is the vibration and the earth get better if we don't freaking get rid of the ick? Because that's what it is. It's ick.
AJ just said the word purge. Purge it.
Yep.
Purge it. Well, I'm about to purge some shit here in Akron. There's no doubt about that. I have had enough of what's going on in my local experience that I'm definitely going to get behind those in my system and we're definitely going to start purging some stuff. Definitely. I'm not talking killing anybody.
Yeah.
I'm talking like literally just saying we've had enough as a people. You're either going to, you know what? It's not even, we're going to, if you're gonna just, it's to the point now where it's get out. And enough
Well, there's
enough
still
is
so
enough.
many people. There's still so many people who are afraid to speak their truth for whatever reason. I mean, I see it all the time. Or people who are with people for the wrong reasons, staying in relationships for the wrong reasons. You don't stay in a relationship to pay your insurance bill. I'm sorry.
Right.
You part of it's. I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for you people. Not you people, but I mean, there's people who are like, I how am I going to take care of myself? Just like the rest of the world does. Grow up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, it's so many people have been, stepping on someone else and, taking from them like a vampire, feeding off of them, and the other person, you have so many different kinds of energies and ways of where they're afraid to speak their truth. They don't know what their truth is. They can't figure out who they are. They're already feeling belittled and insecure in the first place. They don't know how to get out of the despair they're in because they've been beaten down. And the only way is to start, like I've been saying it left and right, find pieces of your muckierness. Whatever it is that makes you happy, that makes you be you. If I want to walk around in a freaking mall and dance like a ding dong, then I'm gonna, and I don't really care what you think.
Right. I get it.
You know, I mean, that's where people have to get back to. You have to get back to being real. And in order to be real with someone else, you've got to figure out where you're not real with you.
Oh,
because that's the only way you're going to ever have good relationships.
Michelle, here, look, we are at an hour and almost an hour and 20 minutes. Okay. We've had no calls yet. I've just been reading comments, questions, primarily off of the Facebook chat. I'm going to give everybody like 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Again, please, if you got questions, you want to talk to Michelle, call this show, call the studio. I'm going to go to, like I said, a 2 minute, 30 second ad break. You go do what you got to do. I'm going to go grab another cup of coffee. I want to have you here for at least another 25, 30 minutes. Is that, if you're willing to do that with me.
That's fine, baby.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a night owl anyway. I ain't gonna go to bed until like 3.
Jeez. All right, everybody, hang tight. Just pay attention to the ads if you wish to. Go grab a cup of coffee. You want to do that? We will be right back with Michelle Espinosa here on the Matrix Minds Media. Responsive embedded web player. Censorship free. Get the game now with Live Push, the future of live streaming.
What is up, all my beautiful and gorgeous souls? I am Michelle Espinosa, otherwise known as the Shaman, through the Matrix Mind Media. So tell me, how many times have you wished that you had that special power of prediction? You know, to know what was going to happen before it actually happened and took place. To have some power and control over that situation before things came flying at you out of left field. The thing is, you actually can have that power. You can be aware of what's coming. Tune in to Astrology TV with me for Breaking the Cage every Sunday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Matrix Mind Media. And I will go through the astrology and help put you on the right course and get you back in control of your own life. Love you guys.
This CBD fluid is a whole flower fluid extracted from the cannabis flower. We don't use any heat, butane, or chemicals when we extract, so we get all of the components of the plant. All the CBD, CBG, CBA, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids. This allows our body to absorb at 60 to 90% rather than the average of 6 to 10% absorption you would get with a CBD oil. Because our bodies are made up of mostly water and this is a fluid, it's highly absorbable so that you're getting 500% more nutraceuticals per dose. We also have this available in our CBD spray as well as a muscle rub with all kinds of botanicals. You're going to absolutely love it.
Check it out, Brainiacs. MatrixMinds.live/CBD. CBD I use. Feel free again. Feel alive again. And now back to the show. All right, you guys, again, welcome back. I'm joined with Miss Michelle Espinosa, my dear friend, my sister from another mister. She's definitely another sister from another mister. This broad here, if you're just joining our live, walks a thin line between life and death. Who else would have a spirit guide that is known as Grim Reaper? The Grim Reaper. Holy shit. Michelle, welcome back. What's up?
What's up?
What's up? Got my cup of coffee. I'm good to go for another 25 minutes, 30 minutes. That's, again, if that's up to you. Taking everybody's buddy's questions. Tina Daniels, like, get some mojo. Notice I'm not trembling at the moment. I'm not shaking like a dog shit in peach pits. It's because I didn't take mojo. I'm good. I'm good at the moment. I don't need it. I'm drinking some black coffee. I'm good to go. Mojo, man, is like, holy cow. If I took mojo before I come to the show, again, you guys have seen me flying high. Now that's what it is. That's definitely what it is. Michelle, I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned as well as everybody else knows, I started the page Sacred Stones by Matthew. And notice if everybody sees the stone on my neck, it is a turquoise stone. Nevertheless, what exactly can people benefit?
Is it the blue one?
It is. Yeah. What exactly can these people benefit from their crystals, and how can that help them with like healing past wounds and getting through all of this mess? Because again, we're talking about the Matrix falling upon its face, and I can see it. I can definitely see it. Michelle, it challenges me. Like I said, it challenges me every day, every live stream. Last week, Tina Danley, I was on the phone with her. I was about to go live at I was making screens at like 8 o'clock. It usually takes me about an hour or an hour and a half to make screens for the show. And I'm like in the middle of nothing, and the power just like goes out, and my machine rebooted itself and did an update right afterwards. 2.5, almost 3.5 hours later, I'm still waiting for video drivers and things like that. I'm like, man, I'm so pissed. Tina's like, she's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, whatever. I ended up calling. I called Tina Danley for a little while. I'm like, oh man, yeah. The shit that we're going through. Question, Shell? Because in my eyes,
Yes.
I feel like my stones, making my stones, okay, absolutely helps me. Like it making them, caging them brings me calm. Okay, I literally love making these stones for everybody, and it brings me peace and calmness and clarity doing that. And by the way, you got a 909 area code that just called into the show. So shout out to you, area code 909. Welcome to the Matrix. Hello.
Hi, Matt. It's Peggy.
Hi, Peggy. How are you?
How are you guys?
Oh,
Hey, honey.
we were waiting
Hi,
for you.
Michelle. Thank you so much for your time.
We love you, honey.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
What's on your mind,
Well,
Peggy?
I mean, the energy's tough. It's tough anyway. Peggy, there.
Indeed, it is crazy.
Go ahead.
The energy is crazy. Okay, but all I'm saying is everybody that I know usually has got a crystal. They burn incense. How? I'm asking you as just a.
It's necessary. It's
Okay,
necessary right
how?
now. And honesty, it's necessary. Okay, well, throughout the whole night, I've been with you all about also, the energies of the world's got so much negativity just flying out of it, and some of us are coming into, great moments of like redemption and finding our soul self, and then something comes down and just like knocks the wind out of your sails, and you feel like you're back down, and you're having to pull yourself back up. Like I said, you're pulling yourself up out of the trenches and getting into higher vibrations. Now, it's necessary for all of these things right now because, for one, we are the most powerful thing in our energy. I mean, we are the most powerful thing. This is our mind that creates our reality. However, sometimes our mind is cluttered with funk, and it's hard for us to get in that positive spot. I will not deny that for most people. But the crystals if you know what your crystal is for whatever reason you're using it. I mean, there's crystals for everything. You know, there's oils for everything. There's incense for everything. I mean, you should be cleansing your energy regularly. I do not mean like once a flipping month.
Right.
I mean, you go out into the world regularly. You're picking up energies from things regularly. You're bringing them home with you regularly. You should be, this is why people burn the incense, either to cleanse the energy or to lift up the vibration or to bring in a protection energy. There's many different reasons, and I mean, people will burn them even for money, you know, but I mean, when you're burning the incense, it's helping you to remove the energy that's not good around you. That's what the crystals are doing. They're kind of like, you know, like your little buddies. The incense, the crystals, the oils, they're like your little buddies. They help you get right. Sorry, but that's what it is. I mean, if you're dealing with grief, there are certain crystals that, you know, is good for that. Certain ones are great for DNA repair. Certain ones are good for, you know, just removing the negativity, you know, and when you cleanse them, you know, cleanse them with either the sunlight or charge them with the moon, or you run them through the incense smoke, or however it is that you cleanse them. You have to cleanse them. That's the other thing. People buy the crystals, and two things: either they never cleanse them, and then they're just like a psychic sponge. They're full and they don't work anymore because they've not been cleansed, or I get, like, when I was in the metaphysical shop, I explain this a lot of times to people. Like, they'll buy a rose quartz. I'll use it as an example. They'll buy a rose quartz bracelet, and then they're finding, well, for some reason it seems to be making my arm hurt. Well, yeah, it's a rose quartz. How much are you talking to yourself badly? How much are you, I mean, this is what I'm trying to get at, is we have told ourselves negative things unconsciously so often. I mean, like, we don't even realize that we're telling ourselves that I'm a fucking dumbass. You know what I'm saying? You do something wrong. That doesn't make you a dumbass.
Right, right.
You know, but your soul is hearing it. Your essence is hearing it. And then they're going, well, why does my arm hurt? You have a rose quartz on. It's trying to teach you to love yourself. It's hurting you to tell you to stop it. It's doing its job. You don't want to listen.
Miss Peggy, I got a question for you, my guest caller. Do you happen to have any crystals or any power stones?
You know, I am just learning all this stuff. That's why I stay tuned and listen. I try to tune into Michelle's podcast all the time and try to listen and learn, and I try to learn from you and a few other shows, and you know I do not have that.
Well, I was about
there's nothing wrong with that. As you're growing into it, you'll see what is best for you. Some people don't do crystals, but they do oils. Some people don't do oils, but they do incense, you know, I mean, or they do all.
Right.
And, I mean, you'll find what works for you.
At this point in my life, I think I need it all.
Oh.
Well, okay, the other thing is you don't want to run out and just grab a ton of everything.
Oh, no.
Because I will admit, some crystals will fight with each other. They'll be like, they'll go into competition. I can help. No, I can help. No, I can do more help than you can. I mean, they're just like humans. They'll have an attitude. I want to help. Well, you won't let me because you know it all. You know, I mean, you have crystals, literally. I hear this. I mean, from them. But, you know, and you have to find out which ones work for you. What I'm saying is like, say you Googled, you know, that you were looking for something for focus. We'll just use that. Focus and clarity and keeping your mind straight, you know. Then you might get a handful of crystals, you know, different kind of crystals that come up. That does not mean to use all of those crystals, because this one might work wonderfully for you, and then the others are like, no. I joke around and I say all the time, like, people want to buy moldavite, but I use tektite. They're both from asteroids. I don't like Moldavite personally. It doesn't work for me. And I joke around all the time. I'm showing my age here. I'm like from the movie The Outsiders. I'm like, I don't know. I'm a greaser. I'm from the wrong side of the street. Moldavite don't like me. I use Tektite.
It's still a tech. It's
I'm
still
like,
a tech.
I'm just saying.
It's still
Yeah,
an
like,
outer planetary stone. Or I'm sorry, it's not even a stone.
Yes, exactly.
It's a Tektite.
So I'm like, I'm from the other side of the galaxy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, I mean, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, don't try to buy everything this one. I'm like, go with, say you got 10 of them that, like, you were looking for something for focus, and you look up all 10 of them, and the one that you feel like, don't be looking with like, ooh, it's pretty. Look at like, my soul says, I like that one. Then that's the one you need. Don't look with the eyes of the ego going, ooh, it's pretty. I mean, because I make my own essential oils. I make my own little potions that I sell on my Etsy page and stuff, where I mix the crystals with the oils, and I've asked Spirit, you know, what would be a great thing for grief. You know, and I'm like, I want to accomplish these situations, you know, and then I worked with my guides, and I'm like, okay, so my guide said I could use this stuff. So from there, it's up to me to make it smell good. You know, and I mix it and I put the crystals in it and everything. So, and then I give it to you all, you know, in those different ways. So I have different combinations that I work with. Some people like the fact of, you know, mixing them together, you know, and some people don't want to use oils at all. I'm just saying there are many options out there, but understanding what you want and what you need sometimes is where like a healer or a medium might come in, because I get people all the time who come in going, I need this crystal, and I'm looking at them, reading their energy, and I'm like, no, you don't. You know, you're like, I'm like, no, you don't. I'm like, you think what's going on with you is this, but then the medium comes out, and I'm like, but this is really what's going on with you. And then they're like, oh my God, you know, but that's usually how that goes. It's, people misinterpret their feelings, their understanding. They haven't gone deep enough. And that's what I mean by, you know, people will come in and be like, I want this, this, and this. And I'm like, yeah, no. We need to go more in this direction, you know, but sometimes they're right.
Before I actually get to Peggy and like let her have free reign with you, Michelle, I got to share this because you just shared with me something that triggered me in a remembrance. And that is, somebody asked me for a tiger's eye, a raw tiger's eye stone. So, you know, they wanted me to wrap it, you cage it and make a pendant out of it. And well, I did. I ordered it. I got it in. And I'm going to let you know, everybody, if you order a tiger's eye stone and you wonder why it is like zingy as hell, it's primarily probably because of my own energy. Me and Tiger's Eye Stone does not get along. I don't know why, but it is like aluminum foil on a tooth filling in my mouth. It's like I don't know why, but it's like you just mentioned Moldavite, right? Moldavite does the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's not that I can't handle the vibrational frequency. It's just because Moldavite is a lot like Tiger's Eye. It is like in your face vibrational. Hey bro, hi. It's like hey Spike, where are we going, Spike? Yeah. That's the way I look at Tiger's Eye. That's literally the way I look at it. It's like if it's going to show you, it's going to like excite you, share with you, and show you. And again, I was like, which way are we going, Spike? Which way are we going? Right? Look, I'm already like that. I don't need that. Okay? So it's like...
I'm sorry. I'm looking at Larry Queen. Larry goes, possessed stones for the win.
Right? I mean, everybody that receives a pendant from me, regardless, already knows, because they're usually able to pick up on frequency and vibrational, the feeling. I put a lot of love in my crystals, man. I shit you not. I've got a stage that I do everything with. I usually get them Okay, I immediately take. I don't even care if it's a winter time. I will take them out. I will put them on a cedar board, and I will clear them in the sunshine. I don't know where the hell they came from. I don't know who put them in the bag or boxed them. Okay, I don't have any clue. So I'm going to, number one, I'm going to clear my stones before I even decide to like wrap them. Okay, and put it this way: if I've got 5 specific clear quartz, I notice. I think I've got like eight clear quartz still in there on the table. Okay, now mind you, I'm not going to just like wrap all 8 of them and just like, okay, cool, and just get rid of them. No, I don't do that. I clear them. I let them tell me which ones need to be taken care of, and ends up with Tina or Maxine or Carrie or wherever they need to go before I truly believe in my own heart of hearts that the crystal picks the person. Okay? Because I have had multiple crystals that I've purchased throughout my life.
Or it'll run away from the person.
Or true. And I've caged them, and it's like, oh, I've got the cage hanging around my neck, and the crystal decided to like fall out of the cage. Now, if you guys have ever got a crystal from me, you'll know that I caged the living shit out of my crystals. So I don't know how the crystal did it, just like, because the cage didn't even look like the cage was bent. Did it just like, I don't know, drip out of the cage? I don't know.
I had products before that I've made because I make a lot of orgone, and I had a product one time, and it returned itself to me literally in the mail, and I was like, I know that you purchased this, and I can mail it back, but if it came back to me, it wasn't for you. I was like,
right.
So why don't you let me sit on it for a second, and I'll make you something specifically for you. You know, I was like, because you're trying to purchase something that's not for you. And they were like, okay. And they were completely happy with the situation. And that's how I found out about Moldavite, because I bought like 3 pieces of Moldavite, and they all ran away from me. And I'm like, see, I'm telling you, we don't get along. I'm a greaser. I'm like, I'm from the other side of the cosmos. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not a soch.
Right.
But I want to say too, I was looking at the comments. Sasha, you were saying something about a dream with a full moon and having 2 half moons on the side. I would tell you that you should look up the triple goddess and the different meanings of the triple goddess, because that's most likely what it means, unless it's specifically warning you of the eclipses coming in.
Ooh. Let's get to Miss Peggy. She called to talk to you, so let's get to Miss Peggy. I'm sorry, Miss Peggy.
Hi, Miss Peggy. We love you, and thank you for being here with us.
No, thank you. You know, I just, I really love listening to you and getting a bunch of insight from you. And I am, I'm trying to learn all this stuff with both of you. You both are like so insightful for a newcomer like me. I would like to know, what do you feel around me, or can you answer that?
Chaos and destruction, baby. Chaos and destruction.
I'll get back to you.
I'm kidding. Tell me, as she can pick up on your energy. Okay, talk to me a little bit so she can get more about you. Where is it you living at? Where are you grounded at?
I live in Southern California. Been here forever, I feel like, and I really can't stand this area anymore. I would love to leave California. Been married 27 years, 3 kids, 1 grandson. Okay. Other than that, a lot of negativity around in my home.
Yeah, I got
really
you now.
Tough. Really tough.
Yeah,
what they're saying is, they're saying, you got it too, Matt?
Oh yeah.
what I'm getting from my guides is sweetheart, you're trying to be a very positive person, and you're trying to come into the spiritual path, and you're trying to walk the path, but you still are way too, what's the word for it? You let others lead you still way too much. You still let their opinions, their ideas, their choosing of what is best for you, and because what I'm getting is, my guide is giving me more or less, not necessarily being manipulated, but it has a lot to do with pride and ego. It has a lot to do with the three-dimensional world, still being connected with that idea and the only way that you know of it to be, versus starting to grow out of that idea and coming into where we're all at. But you have too many people in your life who are still connected to what you're leaving, what you're trying to leave behind, which is making you feel powerless. Am I right?
Very much so.
Yeah, because they're saying, because what my guides just said is you need to, because they literally gave me the word powerless and then afraid. And this is learning how to speak up for yourself and learning how to understand what it is that yourself really wants, not what other people are trying to put into your brain and talk you into thinking you want. Because that's what's happening, is a lot of people are trying to talk you into doing what they want you to do. And this has a lot to do with what I'm always talking about, boundaries. When you're starting to come into yourself, you're starting to find that way, you're starting to believe in yourself, your boundaries shift. And as they shift, well, you're messing up somebody else's world because they're used to you being this person, and the person you're growing into may not necessarily be what they're ready to deal with, but that's their problem, not yours.
Right.
It only becomes yours when you allow it to come back on you. They're saying you need to trust in your bigger, deeper reasoning for being, and trust in your own abilities, because you can do and be and go and change however you want to. But this is about you stepping out of what you've always known. It's the hardest thing to unlearn what is the only thing you know. Right. And you're learning how to allow that to take place. And what Grim just said is you're learning how to get over the frustrations of finding yourself, but you have anger issues that you're having to learn to let go of, because that is part of what keeps you down.
Can I add to that?
Wow.
Is the mouth able to add to that, Peggy? Because I have a spiritual intuitiveness about me too, okay, and I pick up on people too. I can tell you that the displacency that you're feeling, okay, is also having a lot to do with being, like Michelle said, torn, okay, but also I got the feeling and get a feeling that you are trying to do too much, too fast, too much all the time. It's like it's like you are a candle, okay, a candle, and you've got one end of that candle lit, the other one lit, and someone's trying to burn that bastard in the middle. Okay, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna burn out. So slow down. This is your life. This is your experience. No one's gonna push Peggy but Peggy. Okay. So you're not gonna. You put it this way.
And I'm gonna go ahead.
The turtle. Okay, won the race. Do you remember that? The egotistical hare lost the race. Just take your time, live your life. You're not going to die tomorrow. Okay, odds are you're not going to die tomorrow. Take it stridefully, one step at a time. Don't burn your candle in the middle. I promise you, you're going to get to your goal. Does that make sense too? Please?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
The other thing I'm getting is the despair and the confusion of what you're learning has a lot to teach you. If you can make yourself step outside of the pain and what you're going through and look at why you're feeling the way you feel. so that you can understand the lessons of what's changing. Along with that, I'm going to use my own self again as an example. Because the best way I can say what I'm going to say is to put myself down, but I'm not putting myself down. But many people may see it this way. Again, I take care of my 80-year-old mom, and that woman, I love her to death, but I've gotten to where I also enable her because I overly take care of her, and I'm having to step back from that in the sense of she is starting to feel better. She is getting better. I mean, she's not going to get 100% better, but the woman can change her own daggone TV, okay? You get what I'm saying? She's at the point of, she'll call me in to change the TV. I'm like, woman, pick up the remote and change the TV. There's some things you can do here. I don't want you cooking, but, there's some things you can do. You don't need me to do everything. I'm like, woman, if I got to breathe for you, we got a problem. I love her to death, but I'm telling you, at the same level, there's people that you're enabling because you love them. But what you're accidentally doing is you're hurting you. And I try to explain this all the time. It takes courage to love yourself more when you realize you're deplenished. There's nothing, you've got to replenish. The well is dry, honey. And if you keep trying to give out what you don't have, all you're doing is you're not loving them anymore. You're being used at that point. You're being taken advantage of. And you won't be any good to any relationship you have if you don't love you enough to replenish yourself. So
this is where
realize where the enabling is coming in.
Shell, this is where I picked up on Peggy's, she's burning her candle at both ends, plus someone's trying to light it in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, again, Peggy, I'm not trying to call you out and say you're giving too much. Okay, it's almost, you've only got so much energy during the day, and usually whenever you go to bed, you die. Okay, you crash. That's what I'm feeling. Is like you are literally strung the fuck out. No.
I understand. I mean, I'm very, very similar. Like I said, I mean, I've had my days where I've been like, you know what? I'm not here on this planet to be a slave to you or even to my mom. I'm like, I'm not here to be a slave. I mean, I'm going to do the best I can. But that's where I don't want you to get in the negativity of that. I want you to get in the, you know what? I'm not going to be in this negativity. Where's my much-earness? What parts build my much-earness? You know what I'm saying? I need you to start finding, how to let the heavy go. The more you sit in the heavy, the more heavy you'll be in. And we want to rise you. We want to help you find that light. I posted a few days ago, love is light and airy. And when it's heavy, this is not actually love. And this is where you're learning this despair, and you're learning how to shift it to where it actually can be light. So, I mean, you could always contact me. We could do, work with you. I also noticed AJ was saying, you could contact her or Matt. Any of us will be happy to work with you in our own way, but you need to realize this is where you're at, because even I have my days where I'm like, wow, I'm here again. Wow, how did that happen before I noticed that I'm here again? You know what? I got to go down the river. I don't care what's going on, Mama. You can figure it out. Sometimes you got to get to those points because you got to love you. What are you here for? You're not here to not enjoy life. So what do we got to do to get you back on the right direction? This is where we need to start working with you soulfully.
Peggy feels alone.
Right.
I can tell you that right now.
I know
she feels alone. But here's the thing, Peg. You are with everybody in this chat. I see you interacting with everybody in the chat. This crew is a tribe. There's a difference between this show and a lot of other shows. That's one of the reasons why this Matrix, I call it the Matrix Minds, okay? Because all of these guys here, they're like tribal family to me, okay? Really, anything I really, really, really need, if I needed something, I can guarantee you they would come together and find a way to get it to me, okay? If it's like mental work, I don't even have to say anything. It's like they can pick up on me, they can pick up on my feelings, my energy, my displacency, you're in a good place, Peggy, especially to learn to grow if that's what you're feeling that you need to do. But nobody can really help you out of where you're at other than you. You're gonna have to put yourself first. We can be with you. You're definitely with a soul tribe. I can tell you that right now. These people love one another. They care about one another. And that's why
we're here to hold your hand. Yes.
Yes. Facebook hates it. Facebook and the mainstream can't stand this platform. Can't stand it. Because of that. Just saying, Peggy. Welcome aboard the Matrix. We got you. You're going to be all right. Do you have any other questions or anything?
No.
Any concerns?
Breathe, honey. You deserve it.
You ain't worried the
No,
sky's
I just
falling,
know what
right?
I need to do.
All right.
Oh, God, no.
All right. Peggy, you know, certain times in our life, I can even tell you at my age, I'm younger than a lot of these guys in this chat. Okay? I'm 47. So to a lot of these guys, I'm a baby. The problem with me dealing with you guys who are a lot older than me is because I have gone through a lot of stuff to get me to where I am at a very nurturing age, right? And again, everybody in the chat says you're a baby. But the problem is I don't have the baby spirituality about me. I have no problem standing my turf, standing my ground, saying, don't push me because I've been there, done that, and learned. I've learned it at I've learned it in a hard way. It took me, I was 16, 17 years old whenever I woke up to the reality that I was put in this system to probably pretty much dismantle it. And I've done that ever since
That's what most of us are.
Seriously, I've been doing it since I quit school. I didn't want to be that brick in the wall. Everybody in this chat, as they're a sole proprietorship, they're their own businessmen and women. They know where they want to be, what they want to be, how they want to be, and they ain't gonna tolerate being in the system that's gonna confine them. Okay, they're definitely spiritually awakened, all of them, and they're gonna push back on the system. So if you're feeling that path and that journey is your own journey. We're definitely here for you. And don't think that you're alone, because you're not. You're not alone. If trying to make the transition, Peggy, you may lose family members. I've lost my uncle who's alive. I've lost my brother who is not really my brother anymore. My mother's gone. My mother's passed away. My father's passed away. My best friend's passed away. My grandmother's passed away. And the only people I have are you all. That's it. You all. My wife and my wife and my child, don't get me wrong, they're on board with me. But if something were to happen to them or I'd be displacent, I would have nobody. Nobody at all but you all. That's it. And I would need you. That is how much I rely on everybody. I know I'm okay. I know above and beyond, if something were to happen, I would be okay. And I want you to feel the same way. AJ, she's in Australia, Peggy. Australia. So someone from Australia loves you. Someone in Australia believes in you.
That's right.
Okay? It's hard what you're going to go through, and you are definitely going through it. It's fucking hard, Peggy. It's definitely hard.
It is.
You're not alone, sweetheart. You're not alone. Promise.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome.
Like I said, you could always. I mean, we can work with you as well, because, sweetie, it's going to take steps. It's not going to be an overnight thing. And AJ, you're right. It is a solar plexus. It's also a throat chakra and a zeal point, and it's also in the leg chakras. Is what's going on, and it's trying to creep up into her heart. Because I'm feeling it spreading. What Grimm is saying to me is that, unfortunately, we are dealing with a lot of, and I'm sorry to put it out that way, but you have a lot of helpless, rejected feelings, that you're not getting the help or support you need. But the problem is that is also your outgoing energy. And that means that's the energy that's going to manifest back to you if you don't start talking to yourself in a more positive way. This is saying you need to start trusting in yourself, believing in yourself, stop fearing everything, and start loving you. Because what we're doing is we're turning you over in form, and we're dismantling you and putting you back together. And your biggest thing is you always want to protect that heart chakra. You want everything, but once the heart chakra gets, just destroyed and broken down, it becomes even harder to get people to believe in trust again, to believe in forgiveness again, acceptance again. So this is why I'm constantly saying, because Grimm's always giving me, I always say, he says, get back in cartoon land, because he's always telling me, I need you to be at your muchierness. I need you to just be at that level of play, fun. Who cares? When it's time to turn you on for work, we'll turn you on, like the Fifth Element, but until then, don't let it in. Don't let it corrode you. And this is what I mean by getting into that muchierness. Any little things that help you, just smile and be happy and start to believe in yourself and don't care what all those other people say. This is about loving you.
Miss Peggy,
and rebuilding you.
Let me share something with you. This comes to you. I'm going to share it with you. This comes to you through Sasha O'Brien, okay? She says, my family thinks that I belong in a complete rubber room, and thinks that I may be batshit crazy. I'm on my own journey, but if I ever need guidance or all I have to do is ask for help from anyone here. She's right. I'm telling you, she's right. Okay, you've got people from Britain.
That's so true.
It's just Peggy, Britain. I'm serious. Nathan Smith from Britain. Okay, all showing you love. We've all been there. There is not one person in this chat, okay, that has not either been there, done that, or they're going through it now. And it's what we do. We're just going to rely on one another, because this matrix that we're in, okay, is done. This system that we're in is done. And if you're coming into this awareness that, well, oh shit, I feel that it's collapsing. I feel that the world around me is like fictitious. It's because it is. This is not an easy thing to grasp. It truly isn't. Miss Maxine
Start journaling. I am. That's from AJ, but I put the journaling on it because I saw where AJ put I am, and then she wrote your name. But journal to yourself things that, journal to yourself things that are helping you come into that I am energy. I am powerful. I am beautiful. I am good. I am deserving. I am worthy.
Okay.
Start telling yourself this. Start doing it, like you heard me in the beginning of the show. I start my day off saying, what I'm thankful for, and then I end it with what I'm thankful for. Start it right now from this day forward until you're starting to feel better, and then we'll find you something new with you give yourself some affirmations of I am. in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. And if you need it in the middle of the day, start doing it. Just like Sasha said, who cares if they think you're batshit crazy? If you're on the level and you're getting better, then that's what matters. Everybody else can F right off.
Well, all right.
Do you have, Miss Peggy, you got any more questions or well, any more concerns or questions?
No.
No? Okay.
Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. And again, welcome aboard the Matrix. Again, you're not alone, Miss Peggy. I promise. Okay? Good night to you, Miss Peggy. Have a good night.
You too.
All right, hon. Miss Michelle Espinosa, it's time to go bye-bye. Yeah, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You know, all right. You give everybody a closing statement above and beyond what you told Miss Peggy. Because here's the thing. What you told her was a closing statement. Be in your power. Take it back. Oh, dude, that was like the shit. I could feel her. I could definitely feel her. Everybody else, to be honest with you, can definitely feel that as well. This is why I love these guys. I'll do everything I can to still stay broadcasting to them and with them and be with them. So Michelle, say something positive, everybody, please.
It's not to end. It's not enough to be I am. I am is something that you're still learning to understand. It's not enough to be I am. When you know you're past I am. I am now everything that I will ever need to be. Keep going and you will get there. I love you.
Love you too, Michelle. Thank you again for being with us for the entire night. That was really cool. If I just owe you any money, man, just get it from the afterlife. I don't know what to say. I appreciate the time that you spent with everybody here. I really do. So thank you for that. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Good night, Michelle. All righty, everybody. Once again, my friends, it's good to be with you guys on a Monday night. Without a doubt, it's always cool to be with Michelle, picking up on everybody's feelings, everybody's emotions here in the chat. Miss Peggy, again, shout out to you. You're not alone, sweetheart. You got we got a great bunch of people that you can lean on for support. They'll have no problem at all talking to you, helping you, as well as everybody else, man. If you need help, you need some kind of like wind in your sails, reach out to me, reach out to one another. That's why we're here. I'm not meant to be in this system. I know you're not meant to be in this system either. There's only a handful of you. Only a handful of you. We make up a small amount, but yet we do some very powerful things. Breaking this matrix from the inside out. You guys are the brains behind this system. Without a doubt, I trust you. I believe in you. And we're moving forward. One day at a time. Sometimes one moment at a time. Right? Check this out. I rely on you guys. If you have it in your heart, help me. I don't have any other income other than the show, and it's getting really, really hard. I just switched restream services to bring you tonight's broadcast. The other one kept falling on its face. I will not have that. No more. So went and spent some Matrix money to switch broadcasting services to bring it hopefully flawlessly, no downtime. So again, if you can help me with the broadcast, go to the Matrix Minds Live matrixminds.live, smash the donation button. Any and everything that you guys donate to the show goes to the broadcast to help the streaming service. If you guys want a pendant, okay? Again, I go through a rigorous little ritual here with them, okay? They don't just go from point A to point B. I'm not a manufacturer. I got a process, a little ritual I go through whenever I receive them here to the studio. I get them, I clean them, literally I clean them, I cleanse them in the sunlight, I bring them in here, one at a time, I let them tell me which one's going to be caged and then posted to be sold. Just like this little guy right here. I don't know. I have no idea. I brought this in here to show you. Don't have a clue as to when it's going to be posted. No idea. Does it have flaws? It does. It has some flaws. It's got some cracks inside of it. But nevertheless, it's a little Lemurian quartz. Okay. No idea when it's going to be sold. It'll let me know. Among the other 8, I've got 8 quartz crystals in there, 4 of which are wrapped. I think 2 which are posted. I've got 2 amethysts that are posted. But anyway, nevertheless, all of the money that you guys go and spend on the pendant helps the broadcast. I take that money and I literally just forward it. I stick it into to help pay and cover the Matrix Minds expenses. I have 0 paycheck, y'all. 0. This is it right here. So anything you guys can do to help me, I'm doing everything I can to keep it going. I know it sounds like an infomercial, but listen, I'm committed to you. I am committed to you. I'm committed to me. Please help me. Okay? Please help me. Help me fulfill this. Okay? With that being said, I will continue to be a thorn in the Matrix side until the day I'm dead. It doesn't like me, just like it doesn't like you. That's why it wants to do nothing more than shut our lips down. Have at it, man. Keep trying. I love you guys. I'll catch you here on Wednesday night when it's your guys' night, open lines night, all night long. We'll be taking the calls all night long from you. Don't leave me hanging, Brainiacs. You guys enjoy your week. I'll see you here on Wednesday night. Good night, everybody. Peace out, my fans.
We're in the Matrix.
Share this broadcast, share this podcast, and love one another. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's do this. One of the fastest growing talk shows on the internet. Welcome aboard the Matrix Minds. One of the most controversial conspiratorial shows on the internet. The Matrix Minds. And that's it. Buckle up, everybody. Let's go. Paranormal, huh? Conspiracy, huh? Ufology? Hidden Egyptology. And anything and everything we can get our hands on. Let's go. Welcome aboard. The Matrix Minds. The Matrix Minds. Your show.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole is. All I'm offering is the truth. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth.
Check it out, Brainiacs. I'm an alpha male, and this system can't stand me because I teach you, or try to teach you, to be the best you. Be you no matter what, always And in all ways, my friends, be you.